How would you like to see me riding this one-of-a-kind, three-wheeled recumbent trike across the isolated Southeast Asian island of Borneo? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. Hey guys, long time no see. I hope you all had a really pleasurable new year. I hope that you have a lot of exciting plans for 2023. I'm going to put out a video for my plans on 2023. I'll also talk about some more about the channel in the near future. Just about a week ago, I was contacted by a friend of mine in Malaysia. You guys have probably seen him in my videos if you watched pre-COVID, like just pre-COVID. He's actually in one of the last episodes I made on the tour, and he's a really nice guy. I actually revisited him when I went and picked up the old trike and went to the Czech Republic, and we shared some gin and tonics together at a gin and tonic restaurant in Kuala Lumpur. It was really nice. About a week ago, Danny contacted me and told me about a solo trip that he was taking. He said I might be flexible on adding somebody to the trip if you were interested, and so he extended me an invite. The plan of his route is about 1 month, and it is about 2,000 kilometers, and it is on the island of Borneo. Borneo has sort of been a bucket list location for me because it didn't exist on my original world tour plan because it was sort of out of the way, but it was always hanging in the back of my mind as a place I really wanted to visit. There's also a very small, I think it's like a kingdom of Brunei, which is a country, a very small country, but a fairly wealthy country, and just a mysterious place that I've always wanted to cycle through or visit. So Danny reached out to me, and he has a whole roadmap plan. He's Malaysian, so he has a connection with the country and the culture, and it would be a very interesting trip in order to go with him and do like a 2-person cycle tour. He's going to have another friend of his that's going to ride it in the beginning, but he's not going to ride with him the whole way. So there will be some interesting interactions with people along the way. He's going to be riding a road bike, a lot like this guy right here. I wanted to bring my trike, and we probably wouldn't be riding together the whole time. He would be going faster than me, and he'd also be going up some fairly steep inclines extremely fast, whereas I would be going slow. The date of this is basically the entire month of February. The method of riding that he has planned out requires a lot of camping, so there would be a lot of like camping at parks and allocated camping areas, and maybe even some stealth camping. So that would be very cool. It's something that I didn't really do a lot of because in a lot of like Japan and Taiwan and different places, the accommodations were so cheap, there was no real need for me to camp on the side of the road, and I needed to edit videos. But this might be an interesting opportunity for me to travel in a unique way that I haven't so far, and travel in a place that I had not even intended to visit via the trike. I know that Malaysia's mainland that I've cycled across has pretty good internet. I should be able to upload to social media in smaller bite-sized forms, whereas I'll record larger videos that I will edit when I get back here, or when I get to some more substantial cities and locations in Borneo. The ride would be along the northern western edge of the island, and it would pretty much be there. There's actually some of the best diving in the world, scuba diving, that's on the southeast corner of the island, but I don't think I would be going there. There's only, about a month, less than a month before this trip would take place, and so I'm not 100% sure that this is going to happen. But I wanted to make this video to reach out to you to see if maybe you guys had any thoughts or ideas on how to make this happen. The biggest thing is the trike. I built this trike in the Czech Republic recently, and I rode around Europe, and when I flew back to Portland, it was lost in the airline baggage, and it was a big fiasco. It was a big problem. I think that the problem exists even today, but to a bit of a lesser degree. I was going in a really bad time, and I flew through Dublin Airport, which was a really bad airport to fly through. But I'm planning to fly to a fairly remote airport on an island that most people have never heard of, at least most people in the West here, and it concerns me. I don't quite know how to go about taking this trike and getting it to Borneo so that I can do the tour with the trike. I wouldn't really want to go there and do the tour on anything but this trike. I built it for the purpose of traveling. Its intended purpose is to be mounted on the back of the van so I can take it around North and South America and Central America and cycle those places. But it's ideal for me to take it on a trip that is about a month, and that would be across an amazing tropical island. Just think about the videos, just think about the pictures, just think about the interactions with the locals riding something like this, which is really this is a one of a kind. It is a TiFLY X from a company called AZUB in the Czech Republic, but it was built pretty much specifically for me. The chain rings, the drivetrain, the setup is really a unique setup. It's really one of a kind. So it would be really interesting to ride this across Borneo. So I was thinking, one, to fly with it, box it up, pay the extra baggage fee, cross my fingers, put an air tag in whatever packages I have, pay whatever the extensive fee is, and then fly with it. For those of you that didn't see my WestJet disaster, I didn't have any air tags in the box. It was lost. The airlines had told me it was anywhere from Austria to Dublin to Calgary to Portland. It was in all of these places and none of those places at the same time. So that worries me, but I could do it that way. The airline tickets to Brunei are around $2,500 to $3,000 round trip, and that doesn't include baggage fee. I think that if I was going to take the trike, you'd have to tack on another $500 to $1,000, depending on how you were going to go through how many airlines. I could probably pay more for the tickets in the $3,500 range and then be assured maybe more of a direct route. But there are no direct flights from Detroit to Borneo. So my second option is kind of interesting. And I don't know if any of you have used any of these services or any of you know about it. I'm just sort of thinking about it. This just kind of fell on my plate, is a bike shipping service. There's a number of bike shipping services. These companies specialize in helping you get your bike from A to B. A lot of them deal with people who are doing triathlons and people who are like professional cyclists, racing cyclists, and they help them to get their racing bike from A to B, internationally or domestically here in the United States. That's what their bread and butter is. They will take your bike. They would probably either have me drop it off somewhere at a UPS location, and then they would logistically manage the delivery from this place to a bike shop or some destination in the destination. And they do this for a fee. They kind of coach you through the whole thing. I would be very, very interested in finding a company like this that could help facilitate getting this trike not only to Brunei or Borneo or wherever I get it, but in future trips. One of the things about having a vehicle like this is it's really nerve-wracking traveling with it. And if you watch my videos, you know I like traveling. It used to be that I was on a contiguous drive around the world, and it seems like my life, that I'm in my garage right now. I have a garage, you know. I have a home base now to which I can take the trike and go to these amazing, interesting places around the world and do these trips. If there was no worry about the shipping of the trike, I would certainly be going on a lot of these like adventures throughout the world and throughout the year. I'd really love to take the trike to Iceland. I'd really love to take it to Europe. There's a trip to Europe coming up, which I haven't told you about. That's going to be in conjunction with AZUB. I'll be going to Germany in April, and I would like to do a larger tour when I get there around Europe, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that would be another opportunity that a bike service could help me to facilitate getting the trike from A to B. What would be really interesting is to be able to find a bike service out there, if you're watching this video, that here's my pitch. I have one of the most unique three-wheeled recumbent trikes in the world, in a category of unique cycles, but it's not too small to where there's a lot of people that enjoy traveling with their vehicle, which is a three-wheel recumbent trike. And I get a lot of messages from people who are worried about moving it from A to B. If one of the services out there would be, I would think that would be a great sponsor for me to carry. Every time I go on a tour, I could include you in the trip as part of the story of how I get the trike to and from each location. And we could partner together on some sort of a partnership. I always have trouble asking for partnerships or money or, you know, support or whatever, because sometimes I don't feel like the product aligns with what I'm doing exactly. But in this case, I would think that that would be a true win-win scenario. A lot like the Trike itself. AZUB worked with me in providing me with this Trike, which is the third iteration of the recumbent Trike that I've traveled with. So I feel no regret, and they don't feel any regret either, partnering with me in providing me with this amazing vehicle. And I think that an ability to ship a unique vehicle with a unique character that's making videos about their travels would be a ideal suited ambassador for a brand that helps people ship their bikes around the world. So if you are one of those companies, I've probably sent you an email already. Let me know if you guys would be interested. I would love to have the support of a company that does this. It would really, really alleviate a lot of my worries in my travels. And isn't that what you guys want? That's pretty much your sell, right? Is that you help alleviate the frustration and fear that people have in shipping their Trike into foreign locations. And if I told that story and shared with you the story of how easy it is to do this, and with the background of the fiasco that I had becoming sort of a celebrity in Europe for my lost Trike previously, and having to find it in the airport and being without my Trike for months and months and months, this might be a great opportunity for a partnership. So if you are in fact one of those services, please reach out to me. If you know of any of these services, please reach out to me. Or if you have any advice in that, please reach out to me. I'd really like to make this trip happen. I'd say it's about 60-70% possible right now. I got to put together more money. I've got to think about it a little bit more, and I've got to make sure that the Trike can go. Please help if you can. Provide me with some opportunity. I feel like I've stagnated for a long time, and I'm normally traveling a lot more. This winter has just been here, stuck in Southeast Michigan, and I really, really want to get my feet wet again. Maybe not too wet. Southeast Asia can get pretty wet, but not too wet. So I have an opportunity to travel with somebody who is Malaysian, who's a really, really great guy, who would be a fun and interesting partner to travel with, who we could share some stories, we'd interact, but we wouldn't be traveling 100% together. We'd probably be, touch and go, meeting each other at certain points along a preordained path around Brunei and Borneo, on the island of Borneo. I'll leave some information in below on what I estimate the box to be. I'll leave basically the dimensions of the previous box that I shipped when I went through the airport, but I can probably break this down smaller depending on what the service is. Like I said, there's only 3 weeks to put this together. That's buying the tickets and getting the shipping of the Trike. I could ship it out right now if there was a service that could do it, and there was a bike shop in Brunei or Borneo that could accept it, and it would be partnered with me. So let me know. And it's been really nice to talk to you. I know I've been off the grid a lot. There's a whole lot of things to share physically and mentally, and the van, which has been a big story in my life, but sort of not recently. These things are still here, and I want to share that with you. So again, let me know if you know anybody, and we'll talk to you later. Jayoe. And hey, who knows? Maybe in a month we will be cycling across the island of Borneo in Southeast Asia. That would be very cool.